Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This week's been a big week when it comes to phone farming, and I will get in and address some of the news that I'm sure everybody knows about, and then maybe some that some don't know about. But first, we're going to go over how the phone farm did this week and what I got running currently on the board. Let's start with the board since we're here looking at it. Going from the left to the right, you're going to see I have two Viggles running. They've all been running fine. I haven't had any issues running two. I may actually try and push a third, maybe a fourth, to see what happens. But I need to keep other earnings on perk as well. I am running with 13 devices, as I've said before. I am hoping to get up to 20. And I will talk about that a little more as well. After that, I have two UTV phones running there next to it. You can see just popping up there, running through some commercials. Then I have 4 perk word searches running. That flash thing, that's something new from UTV that I have noticed has been pretty common, but it does seem to go back and play even if it doesn't pick up a ad every time, but that is something new that I did notice with the update. Now I'm going to get closer because this brings me to one of my next topics, and there was a live stream yesterday that there were some comments made about people pushing pay to download apps, and that is the most horrible thing in the world. Why would anybody want to do that? Well, the fact of the matter is, for me, this is my own personal experience. I've been using a number of paid-to-download apps for over a year and a half now. And they have by far produced the most earnings for me than any other app that I've used, that I'm continuing to use. The app-like family of apps is what started me on this phone farming journey. And I started with a single phone and I ran those apps. Then I decided, well, maybe I should add them into my YouTube channel. If anybody remembers from the beginning, I didn't do phone farming. I didn't do reviews for phone farming apps. I did mobile game reviews and stuff of that nature, and more of just a vlog type of channel. Once I got in and started learning about phone farming was when I decided, hey, it's be a pretty neat thing to get some extra phones and put the ones that I had already sitting around, which was, you could see there's 3 of them. I have one here, I have a tablet, so that makes 4 that was given to me that I could run on. And then I have these 2 on the ends. Now, they're free devices. They cost me nothing. Most people have a few smartphones as they upgrade over the years now that can still run any of these apps just fine. So why not use them? They cost you nothing. And I've been running the app-like family of apps on most of these for quite a long time. And they've made me hundreds of dollars. Now that's not hundreds of dollars a month. That's not hundreds of dollars. That's over a period of 1.5 years. It's been hundreds of dollars. So you can't say that anybody pushing pay to download apps is doing somebody a disservice. And I'm putting those words nicely because I don't like to talk the way that this person did on their live stream. I'm not about trying to degrade anybody, and that if they happen to see this, they know who they are. If not, that's fine. You're out of this world and you don't need to worry about it anymore. And I'm not talking about the person that you may think I'm talking about. But as we go up, I'm going to see what we got here. We have App Station running there. We have, that one is Money Roar. Then down here, I have Fit Play. And then CashMagnet running there. You'll see that extra phone there. I'll talk about that here in a little bit as well. But first, we're going to get into the earnings of the week. Last week was a good week. This week wasn't so bad either. This is, of course, money that hit the account. This isn't what actually is pending. This is what actually hit my Amazon account. Yolato was a $6 cash out. Then I had one from Receipt Hog. That one did come through. That's a $5 Amazon. AppLike had a $5 Amazon payout as well. And then we're going to come down here to, sorry about the shatter there, Money Roar, $5 Amazon cash out. So that's $21. Like I said, that's $21. And that is the devices right there. That's 13 devices, $21 this week. So you can't tell me that phone farming is not still profitable. It is profitable. Are you going to make a living off of phone farming? No, you're not. I don't think there really has been anybody, in recent times at least, in the year or so that I've been doing it, that's going to say you're going to make phone farming a full-time job and you can pay your mortgage, you can pay for your family, you can do everything from phone farming. It's not going to happen. It's not realistic. I've said it a million times on this channel and I will continue to say it. Phone farming is for extra money to get gift cards and to get things that you may not have been able to afford otherwise. Prime example, the desk that I'm working on right here, 100% phone farming. Okay, not a big purchase. You know, it's some money. It's $60. But hey, it wasn't something I had to pay for. Now, as I move over here, I got to get it off the shelf because I had to actually not wrap it because I didn't want my, I wanted to talk about it, my son to see how good of money can you make phone farming and what can it do for you. Well, there you have it. There's an Xbox One X. And as soon as the camera wants to zoom in, you'll see that's not cheap. That's 100% phone farming. I got it as a deal on Black Friday, yes. But nothing came out of my checking account for this. That was phone farming. I'm going to be doing a whole nother talk in a number of videos about how profitable phone farming is, how fast you should expect to recoup your investment. And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot quicker than any other business venture you may get into. If you look at it as a business, of course. Lots of people don't even look at this as a business. They look at it as a hobby. That's what I look at it as. It's a fun thing to do. Is it a big deal if I only make $10 in a week? No, because I've already made my investment in, and even if I didn't, people collect a lot of things that have no monetary value to them. They collect them because they like to. They collect it because they find enjoyment from it. Maybe that's what some people do with their phone farms. Maybe they just want to collect some phones. Maybe it's something they want to mess around with. They want to play around with. They want to see how many devices they can collect. They want to see how many. Who cares? Just because it's not for you doesn't mean you need to trash talk or push it away from anybody else. I'm not saying people should go on and say, you're going to make $2,000 a week phone farming and you're going to be able to live off. That's wrong. But the person that's listening to the video, doing the research, I don't think can honestly believe that that's the case. There's enough information from enough people that do this that know phone farming is just that. It is a hobby. It is a way to make extra money that you can use to get things that you may not always have been able to get. And I'm talking about 13 devices. That's it. I don't have a room full of phones. Even if I get 10 more devices to make it 20, 23, 25 devices, it's not a big deal. It's not something that's going to make me that type of money, but it is extra and it is nice to have. I'm going to jump back to last week. If you remember my last week's video, I had $35. If you look up, each one of those phones are roughly $10. So let's do a little bit of math. Between the 2 weeks, how many phones have we paid for? Now, we discount the extra phones that were given, and you'll see in 2 weeks, just about the whole board was paid for. Now, there's other stuff. You have your cords and your charging stations and everything like that. But you can recoup investment pretty quickly when it comes to phone farming. And I don't want to get in too much of a rant on this because I want to do a whole separate video series of just what you should expect to pay when setting up a 10-phone phone farm. I'm not talking about people that have 100, 200 phones. That's a whole nother thing when you're talking about buying phones, when you're talking about sourcing that amount of phones, when you're talking about having the internet connectivity to run that many. There's a lot more costs when it comes into phones over a certain amount. And you can see just by one of the big YouTubers that did phone farming, he still kept phones, and he kept 30 phones. So what's that tell you? Even if he didn't want to do this anymore, which that's up to him. Hey, no worries from me. If everybody decides sometimes they've had enough, they don't want to do something, it's all good. I'm not hating on the man. That's his decision. Maybe he has other stuff to do. But he still did keep 30 phones. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that that's probably the number of phones that becomes the best profitable for the amount of time, for the amount of investment to deal with. He doesn't want to do a whole lot more, but he still keeps 30. That tells you something right there. So 30 might be your magic number. Next, I kind of want to get into what people should expect from their phone farm. I expect to get roughly $10 a week. That would be each phone producing roughly $1, because I do have a couple extras. So $10 a week pays for each phone per week. 10 weeks, 13 weeks, whatever. You pay for your phones, you're done. Okay, good. Everything else, as we all know, people try and say, how much is your power usage? Well, you know what? Your power usage is next to nothing for each phone. Well, you have to have internet. Well, you probably have internet anyway. So what's the deal with hooking it to your Wi-Fi? You don't need to have a special router for your Wi-Fi or anything to connect 10 devices. You just don't have to. You can run, really, most cable companies provide you with a wireless router that'll run 80 devices. So you don't have to worry about it. Do it because it's something that you want to do. Don't get unrealistic with your earnings, and you'll be happy with phone farming. You really will. You won't be disappointed in phone farming if you have realistic expectations of what it's going to bring to you. If you come into this thinking you're going to get rich quick, it doesn't work that way. Few things do. Other than sheer luck of hitting the lottery, there's very few get rich quick things that work. It's going to take some work. A lot of comments are, well, you could get a second job and you could make more money. Well, yeah, you could. But can you do that second job sitting here at your desk for 30 minutes a day? No. What if you don't want a second job? What if you don't want to leave? What if you can't leave? What if you're on disability? What if you're retired? What if you're a stay-at-home parent? Is that get a second job really an option for you? No, it's not. So why not? Why not start phone farming? Why not watch these YouTube channels that promote it and say, you can make some extra money doing this. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you have a problem with it, just go away. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to trash anybody. You don't need to decide to go on a rant talking about how these people on YouTube are destroying people's lives. That right there is destroying nobody's life. If anything, it's making it a little better. Take it for what it's worth. That's my opinion on it. Now, a whole nother deal, and everybody, before you get into talking about how the tech slugs shut down, he was not who I was talking about right there. I agree with him totally when he gets on there and says, I want to do something different. That's all the explanation that he had to give to me to say, hey man, cool. If you got something else in the works and you don't have time for it, great. I appreciate what you did for the phone farming community on YouTube, because you brought the biggest amount of people to this. You talked about it. He was the first channel that I saw when I first started looking into it. So he's where I got my start. And if he doesn't want to do it anymore, that's his business. Nobody should be hating on him for doing that. It's his business. It's your business to start this if you want to start it. It's your business to leave when you want to leave. Just don't deter others from doing something that they may enjoy or that may make them a little bit of extra money that could help them down the road. That's all I ask. If you're going to move on, just move on. You don't need to make a big deal about it. It's cool with me. Just, you don't need to say anything. It's great. I appreciate the videos you put in. I learned something from you. And if you're tired of it, you're tired of it. That's your business. Whole new note. All right. I've been showing this phone here as part of it. It's an HTC Verizon phone, and I got it actually at a guy at a yard sale. Had it sitting around, and he honestly didn't think it worked, and I gave him $3 for it. Now, the thing about it is, and we're going to see the issue. Only issue with it is right here. See if we can zoom in. Windows Phone. I don't know what to do with it. I don't even know if it'll run anything. I tried to find apps on their app store, which is absolutely horrible. I mean, I could find absolutely no apps that will run on a Windows phone. So, was it absolutely worthless? No. I got it for $3. He felt a little better because he got rid of something he didn't even think would turn on. It had the battery in it. It powers up. It turns on. My question is, and I tried to do a little bit of research on it, as I sometimes do on YouTube, to try and find whether there's any apps that run on Windows Phone. And I found next to none. So, it doesn't make this phone worthless, but it makes it tough to put up there on that board. If anybody in the phone farming world that may happen to watch this video knows of any Windows Phone apps or a way to get some other apps onto a Windows device, hey, please let me know, or please put a link to a video that does, because I haven't found next to anything when it comes to using Windows phones for. I'm sitting here looking. I'm sorry. That flashing of the phones drives me absolutely crazy. That's why I normally don't sit and look at the phones, because whatever they have on their new update has started doing that, and it's absolutely crazy. So I won't sit there and put somebody in the seizures sitting there watching the phone. But no, if anybody has any ideas as far as how to utilize a Windows device, Windows Phone onto their phone farm, let me know, because I'd love to hear it. Maybe it's even harder to deal with than iOS devices. At least there's some apps there. But let's actually move some of these along just so it can look like, you know, I'm spending some time tapping through my phones here. These ones, they're going to run for 24 hours, at least, sometimes a little longer. CashMagnet, we're going to see how long their next one. Did another $10 cash out from CashMagnet. Hopefully it won't be 3 months this time, but we'll see. I'll talk about that later when it does come through, but overall, I'm not going to talk too much. This has already been a really long video. It's been a lot longer than I wanted to talk about, but I did want to put a good shout out to Soda Free Entertainment. I was on his watching his live stream last night. That was Friday night. We had about a 2-hour live stream that I was on there, and the guy's real about what he talks about. He should be upset and go on the rant that he did, because the person that was talking about him and some of the other phone farmers that have YouTube channels was definitely wrong in what he was saying. He made himself look foolish in his video. But, you know, the good thing is there ain't a whole lot of people that's going to see it. He didn't have that type of subscriber count to warrant the rant that he put out there. But he just put a lot of hate on a lot of people. And, you know, if it gets some thumbs down for me on this video, hey, that's all right. I know my subscribers know me. A lot of them I see in a lot of these other guys' channels, and they talk, and there's a lot of positivity. Overall, this community is a great community, very positive, and I thank everybody for what they do for the community and for my channel especially. I thank you all. I appreciate you all. And as always, have a good day.